The majority in Parliament has called for a forensic investigation into the operations of the bulk oil storage and transportation company as the 5 million litres contaminated fuel controversy rages on. At a news conference Friday, Acting Chairman of Parliament's Energy Committee, Emmanuel Akwesi-Gyamfi, justified the MPP's demand for an investigation by reading out a list of scandalous or quote-unquote scandalous transactions at BOST under the tenure of the former CEO. Among others, they claimed more than 22 million cedis was transferred from BOST to the office of the president without proper accounting.
It is instructive to learn that BOST under Mr. Kwame Ewiadakun rented a property house, a property number 11 Note Abebion Street, Airport Residential Area. More than 2 years after BOST had vacated the premises, they kept the keys and kept paying the rent for non-use of the facility. In the event, they paid $310,000 in June 2016 from the taxpayers' money. The question is, if BOST were a private enterprise, would the owners subject it to such abuse? BOST, prior to the final settlement of the above stated matter, had moved to number 12 Joro Crescent West Airport Residential Area, from where they engaged Mrs. Ronlida Limited for turnkey design, build, finance of their headquarters building at a cost of $39 million, exclusive of tax VAT charges. There are several commitments that BOST made in 2016, especially between July 2016 and January 7, 2017. This would require to be looked into again. Ladies and gentlemen, since 2015, BOST, under the guise of security transfer, has transferred unexplained colossal amounts of between 3.5 million on bi-monthly basis, 2.5 to 3.5 million on bi-monthly basis to the office of the president and the chief of staff. The last amount being 3 million, which was transferred on January 3, 2017. It does appear that there has been a lot of rot at BOST, and for that reason, we agree that we require a high-powered committee to investigate this and other related improprieties.
The majority endorsed the Energy Ministry's move to set up a committee to look into the issue, something the BOST Workers Union have kicked against. Mr. Gyamfi tells Joy News there was nothing wrong with the deal that saw BOST sell the fuel to Movempina.
I will plead with my brothers and sisters at BOST that they should allow this investigation to continue. I mean, with the composition, I mean, this is an issue that we need as a nation to get everybody who matters to be on that investigative committee. And for me, what the Minister for Energy has done, it is the best, and we support it.
So they claim Movempina got this through a sole sourcing procedure, which is how come they think it's even more fraudulent, because then someone just handpicked them and gave it to them. That's why your colleagues on the minority side are claiming.
So what happened was that I've said 15 companies made a request, right, to purchase the contaminated product.
So it wasn't a sole sourcing thing as the minority claimed?
No. Maybe what they intend saying is that this was not open to tender. But for me, what happened in 2014, they used the same process to dispose it. What happened in 2015, they used the same. So if, for instance, now as a nation, we decide that when there's a contaminated product, you should go on open tender, right? And I think it's not a bad idea. And this will come from some of the recommendations of the committee who is going to do this investigation.
So there were up to 15 companies you claim, and, and you've seen the list of these companies and you can name them?
No, I have seen about 5 of them. But if you go there, they will tell you what.
The other bit, they claim that when it comes to Movempina and even Zoop Oil, these are not licensed companies. In fact, the NPA itself has confirmed that. Shouldn't we be worried that unlicensed companies are buying fuel, stuff like this?
Yes. You see, if you go to MPA now, there's a problem as to what licenses you have to give. Is it the BDC licenses or OMC licenses? Because these are like dealers. I mean, last year alone, 2016, more than 35 dealers were awarded this contaminated product purchase or the contract.
The minority, however, insists the Mpino transaction was fraudulent. Edward Bauer is MP for Bongo.
They decided to define the contaminated product as slop and treated it as such. Contaminated product, if they are off-spec products, anybody knows that anybody who has to carry this must be a licensed BDC per the MPA law, because this can be treated and sold at the depots. But you are selling it to a company that did not have a license. They then in turn sold it to another company that didn't also have a license. So under this, and these are facts that have been established. MPA knows the difference between sales of slops and then that of this. But MPA still came out in their statement, and you remember that yes, they have been able to establish that Mpino was unlicensed and Zoop Oil was unlicensed. If that particular information was not significant, MPA wouldn't have wasted their time to issue a statement on that.
Just a final one. They say that there are cases of corruption at the level of the boss under the watch of the NDC administration, which is how come with all this press conference you are trying to cover. In fact, they make specific reference that an amount of close to 22 million was moved from boss to the presidency, claiming it was for security operations, and they don't know what exactly the money was used for. They say there's been 39 million that's been used to build an office complex, which they think is very much on the high side. How do you respond to these concerns that there was a lot of corruption at Bost and the former director, which you, the minority, are trying to cover up?
That's shameful. That's disgraceful. I do not for a moment want to defend if there was something untoward done between 2008 or 2009 and 2016. I do not for a moment want to defend that. If the NPP feels so strongly that something went wrong, I don't have a problem. They should go ahead and prosecute people. But I'm saying that with this current one, it's a specific problem that we need to deal with. Why are they trying to equalize?
Was the corruption real? At least?
No, I don't know. Why did they have to wait till we blew the cover on this Mpino before they started talking about this? Is it equalization? That's shameful.
Saying in Parliament, MP for Futo Alexander Fenyumaking has asked the Speaker to call officials of the National Lottery Authority before the House to answer questions over claims they paid 100,000 cedis to members of the Finance Committee. Though the amount is said to have been given to the committee to push the NLA bill last year, members of the committee say they understood it to be a stipend. Speaking on the floor of the House on Friday, Mr. Fenyumaking expressed concern. Comments by officials of Parliament, including the PRO, has not helped clear up the issue. Majority Leader Oseche Mensah-Bonsu says leadership of the House will consider the request and decide how it should be handled. We'll bring you that sound bite later on. But the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority says there is an urgent need to review PNDC Law 160 Act 1986, the law that established the authority. It says after 3 decades of existence, its operations are sometimes challenged, making it difficult to bring to book agencies and other bodies that operate at the various ports. The correspondent Kwame Yanka sent in the following report.
Speaking to the media at his workshop in Tema, Acting General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Esther J.B. Doko, says it is high time the necessary review was done to make the authority stronger. The aim of the workshop organized by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority was to bring together some agencies that play various roles at the Tema Port under one roof. The workshop then took the media through some key roles of the GPHA and other agencies. According to her, there are several issues confronting their operations, hence the need for the review. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority says its attempt to get Parliament to do the necessary changes are yet to materialize.
We have not been able to get it through Parliament and all the, legislative processes that we have to go through to get it done. But once we have started something, we hope to go through and get it completed. Like I illustrated this morning, there is really the need for us to review our law. 1986, when this law was being put in place, the number of private people operating in the port was so minimal, although the law took cognizance of the fact that we may in future ask private operators to operate in our port. So it gives that room for us to license other people to do some of the jobs that we do or some of the services that we render. We think that with hindsight and the operation statistics right now in the port, we need to do something about the law.
Parliament to do the necessary changes are yet to materialize. Esther J.B. Doko revealed that some stakeholders continue to act in a manner that affects the authority negatively.
These equipments and all that falls directly in our domain. So it's not a problem. You can see clearly this morning with the illustration that we have a number of these facilities in our port as we speak. But when it comes to service provision, where you have other stakeholders who are providing a number of services in the port, we are unable to get the customer satisfaction from some of them. Like I said, it's difficult for the vision of the port to be synchronized very well with the other private operators. And then also sometimes when some of their actions, we are unable to control it. We dialogue with them, we direct as to what to be done, but then eventually you realize that they don't go by it, and it's a bit difficult when they also start quoting their various legal instruments or laws that are backing their operation.
The Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority has admitted that until the law that established it is strengthened, its authority at the various ports will continue to be challenged by other agencies. Kwame Yakes reports for Joy News.
We're taking a break on Joy News from Bastille Ahead. President Akufo-Addo urges military personnel with political ambitions to honorably quit the armed forces before venturing into it.
An important ingredient in a functioning military in a democracy is to ensure that it is insulated from partisan politics.
We'll be back in a bit. Stay tuned. Officials of the Ghana National Fire Service on Friday inspected some high-rise buildings in Accra to ascertain their compliance with fire regulations and the service's specific requirements. The three buildings the team inspected, the Foreign Affairs Building at Airport, City House and the VRA Tower near the Central Business District, all had the needed firefighting aid. Director of Operations at the Fire Service, Julius Kunore, said they intend to conduct similar inspections at the over 30 high-rise buildings in Accra and appeal to all prospective contractors of such buildings to ensure they obtain fire certification.
Our first place of visit was the Foreign Affairs, and there we were able to access all the offices. But what we found was that the moving our fire turntable ladder was not easy. Access was a problem. Access was no problem at the Foreign Affairs, so we had to use another way, and we was on the lock, on the key. So we advised them. We also advised that they should have fire wardens for the various floors. In case of fire, they will be able to advise the people. They are also asking that we should give them more training. Even though we've trained them, they want us to come and train everybody in case there's any fire. From Foreign Affairs, we came to the City House. And there, what happened was that the whole place was crowded with vehicles. So we had to park along the road to be able to get to the 5th floor. And we also inspected their offices, and they had put in place various devices that could be used during firefighting, and that could also alert them. From the City House, we came to the Water River Authority building, which is also a high-rise building, and we were able to inspect their various offices. And we also realized that they had put in place things that could be used, equipment that could be used. They had landing valves.
But they have the landing valve.
Oh, yes. This is what you call
the landing valve. Because I saw that
installing a fire pump.
And they had put in all the necessary fire extinguishers that could be used in case of fire. We had also inspected the assembly points of all the high buildings that we went to. They had sufficient assembly points so that if there's a problem, they'll be able to evacuate the people to that site.
You're supposed to know. Exactly. So that people, even accidentally they fall on it, it opens by itself. But this one, stampede will be there.
We are very satisfied with the exercise. And the next time, we told them that we'll be coming back for proper simulation exercise. For the simulation exercise, we may not even inform them. They will come as if fire has happened, and they will be able to see the reaction. It will be good for them because it will train them to know if, in case there's a fire, how they'll be able to move to the various assembly points. And it will also give them the confidence so that at least if there's a real fire, there will not be that panic.
If as soon as there's something, the sensor would flow and the location and everything, and then the security would.
Some fishermen in the central region are calling on government to crack the whip on their colleagues still using unorthodox methods of fishing. According to them, it is not fair for some of them to stop illicit fishing whilst others continue to flout the law. At a news conference at Winneba, the fishermen expressed disgust at how fish stocks are being depleted. Richard Kojunyako has more.
The fight to improve the methods of fishing by fishermen appears to be yielding results, as many communities along the coastal belt of the country have vowed not to continue using illegal fishing methods, while some of the coastal communities have gone to the extent of pouring libation for calamities to befall any fisherman who uses light and other unapproved methods and activities in fishing. Others have resorted to policing themselves to ensure that such vows are rigidly adhered to. At Winneba, the fishermen who have agreed to end the use of illegal fishing methods are not pleased with some of their colleagues who are still in their old ways of fishing. The fishermen want government to exert a similar effort that has been put in fighting the galamsey menace, lest the fishing stocks are depleted.
Yadawoma tamafo waba obasolati no nadamasam no yana se kaka damasam na fishes ne waba na yaka ana wabo yeso ne megu no waso yana yabu inyanfo fetafo senyafo wala bo wopo no woban pampurafo adafo wala bo wopo no woban nti yaso yamo ya wopo no woban ema amejina ma ko baka jilolo munu anu munu ebi so aka jilolo ana ya yino so aka jilolo mo ya adwuma na dama ko fun ya wa stop sasa se adana apa andara mpo wadana maba haba dinti ne yawo david boto Kufo president kufo be obeye 8 years or the day before to buy on a boat to ya guta mabo ogusa kani abo aba din tiri da boat to one fan group na one away the management one the 3-1 abaya stop galamsey no how much more there abaya to mon stop one away kwop masi before ya ejimo for ya go ma yan kwop aba din tiri no stop ram kwop afibia mba baba da ya na mako afibia mba da ya mako
These are future. This is what we have for our children. We need to protect it. What we want government to do is to stop the use of dynamite and lighting fishing. Government has all the powers to do this. We have not been using DDT, dynamite and lighting fishing. Why is it that we are looking on for others to use these in their fishing activities? The Development Action Association, a partner in the Sustainable Fisheries Management Project that is spearheading the fight to sanitize and regulate the fishing activities in the country, want the Ministry of Fisheries to fashion out an urgent solution to protecting the fishery stock, since the livelihoods of tens of thousands of people along the coast are dependent on the sea. Lydia Sasu is the Executive Director of the Development Action Association.
Our main objective is to rebuild the stock, because we've realized that women are also have to benefit. If there's no fish, then there's poverty.
The Northern Region Coordinator of the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, ASP Manuel Holotu, has called for a law criminalizing sexual harassment. He says the lack of a provision in the Criminal Offences Act penalizing the conduct is making it difficult for the police to hold people responsible when they harass people sexually. Speaking at the opening ceremony of a conference for the Young Urban Women Movement in Tamale, Mr. Holotu said before this challenge can be addressed, the law must define what constitutes sexual harassment and makes it punishable by law. Martina Bugre's report.
The YUWM is a national platform of about 2,000 young urban women leaders drawn from the Upper East, Northern and the Greater Accra regions of Ghana. The aim of the platform is to lead the advocacy agenda for access to decent work and promote the rights to sexual reproductive health and services for the youth. President of the YUWM, Suleiman Sumaya, read a 10-point communique on behalf of the group, calling on duty bearers to ensure stiffer punishment for teachers who harass students sexually. The NHIS covers cervical cancer and breast cancers, establish adolescent corners in health facilities, among others.
If we are making any suggestion, then it should be to how we can criminalize sexual harassment and what actions constitute sexual harassment well established for people to be held.
The Deputy Northern Regional Minister Solomon Boer says even though there are systemic issues drawing the efforts of women in active participation in decision-making, there is the need for all to support and change the terrain.
There are systemic issues that still draw back women's active participation in decision-making. There's no doubt about that. So your active participation in decision-making processes and positions is something that we know there are systemic challenges. Systemic challenges are headaches to all Ghanaians, and collectively we have to change the terrain, starting with solidarity with young females like you to fulfill the gender gap in decision-making.
The Executive Director of NORSAC, Al-Hassan Awal, highlighted the aims and objectives of the platform.
Without young people, they do not have a needed space to operate and to ensure that people who matter listen to them and appreciate the feelings that they have, and to also ensure that we stop seeing young people as being negative to society.
You're watching Joy News from. We're taking a break to bring you business news, but still ahead, National Science and Maths Quiz 2017 champions return to rousing welcome from their fellow students at Prempeh College. We'll be back with all that and more. Station.
Business. Now, the cost of filling your vehicle tank with diesel or petrol from next week is set to witness a significant reduction. This is because prices of petroleum products are expected to go down again. Now, George Rafi looks at the impact of this development on the cost of living.
The reduction has been influenced by the continuous drop in price of crude oil on the international market and the city's marginal stability. Joy Business's projections show that petrol will go down by 3.3%. This should mean that a litre will be sold for 3 Ghana cedis, 73 pesos. A gallon of petrol would be going for 16 Ghana cedis, 78 pesos. So if you need about 10 gallons to fill your tank for a week, then that will cost you 167 Ghana cedis. a kilogram of LPG will witness almost a 4% drop. Well, it appears the projection by the National Petroleum Authority that implementing the new sulfur levels for diesel will result in some marginal hike in price of the product did not materialize. This is because a litre of diesel will go down by a little over 1% from next week. A lot of people have praised the new policy that allows each of the 95 oil marketing companies, OMCs, to set their own prices during these reviews. For instance, prices should have gone down by more than 3% during the last review. However, most of the OMCs just dropped their prices by a little over 1%. Well, for a lot of market watchers, if this decline continues, it could go a long way to help individuals make some savings on their fuel budget and also reduce the cost of living. It could also result in some marginal reduction in transport fares because of projections that prices could be going down further as long as the Ghana cedi stabilizes.
Now, government has been urged to do more to ensure proper implementation of the National Corporate Social Responsibility Policy among private sector institutions in the country. This seeks to enhance the rate of compliance with the policy launched last year by the Ministry of Trade and Industry. In an interview with Joy Business, Kojo Williams, founder of the Center for CSR West Africa, applauded government for the policy but thinks more work needs to be done. There's more in this report.
The National Corporate Social Responsibility Policy was launched in Ghana last year by the Ministry of Trade and Industry to help promote CSR activities in the private sector. According to the founder of the Center for CSR West Africa, Kojo Williams, the policy must be supported with more initiatives from government to realize its full potential.
Right. Last year we got the national CSR policy, which is a good move, a good step in the right direction. But we still need a lot of education and advocacy around CSR and sustainability. We still have the indigenous Ghanaian organizations or companies that that still have a lot of misconceptions about, what corporate social responsibility is, or sustainability. They still think that CSR is equivalent to donation to orphanages and to the needy and all of that. That's traditional CSR. It's good, it's okay, but they need to move away from that. They need to move towards embedding sustainability within their business, structure, their business philosophy and all of that. They need to move beyond just thinking about profit and thinking about the people and also the planet, which is the environment, the triple bottom line.
He spoke with Joy Business after the 4th National CSR and Sustainability Conference in Accra and called on local businesses to go beyond the normal traditional CSR activities.
Some private sector organizations, within the private sector, we have some companies that think that, CSR is not something I should engage in because, I pay taxes to government, so government should take care of the rest. They think that, some multinationals have huge budgets and all of that, they should be tasked with CSR. Something like, my business activities or operations do not have direct impact on society, negative impact like in the mining sector. So the mining company should be the ones to do CSR. So we have all this within the private, all this kind of understanding, views, opinions within the private sector. And we see that they tying into the main theme of this conference. The theme is how to ensure that the local Ghanaian organization or company is becomes more socially responsible, looking at what the multinationals are doing or they have done. But we're not also saying that the multinationals have arrived or they've done it all. No, but they've done considerably well over time.
This year's conference was under the theme promoting a culture of social responsibility among indigenous Ghanaian companies, lessons for multinationals.
Ghana's only organic cocoa buying company, Yaira Glover, has made it to the White House. It now supplies cocoa to Swiss company Velschlin, the chocolate-producing company that makes products for the first family of the United States of America, while Ghana earns $200 per ton for its cocoa. As a result of proper treatment, the organic cocoa company gets $600 more for its exports. CEO of the company, Yaira Glover, explains the distinction between his outfit and other buying companies.
We produce above that Ghana quality. What we do is we produce differentiated cocoa beans. We group farmers, we train them, we give them market-oriented agricultural advisory services. That is, we produce what the market wants. This is what we've been doing for Max Fächling of Switzerland for the past 10 years. And through Max Fächling of Switzerland, other buyers are getting to know us slowly, and we have heard from Max Fächling that the cocoa we produce here is what they use for the production of chocolate for the White House in America, our organic cocoa.
Farmers who engage in organic cocoa growing in Suhum get to be paid 35 cedis extra per bag. Established in 2007 as the only organic LBC in the country with concentration in the eastern and Volta regions of Ghana, Yaira Glover Limited got an initial seed money from the Swiss government to the tune of 600,000 euros to start the purely organic cocoa purchasing company in Ghana. With an initial farmer base of less than 500, Yaira Glover gets its cocoa beans from 5,420 farmers. A cocoa farm can be classified as organic if growers cease to apply fertilizer in 3 years. The cocoa is further tested in Ghana and Switzerland for chemicals before it is certified to be organic. Chief Executive Officer Yaira Glover told the Joy Business team several farmers are in danger using chemicals to spray weeds, and artificial fertilizers are dangerous to the health of farmers.
Now, Season 3 of Joy News Business TV program, The Executive Lounge, kicks off this Saturday. Host Inshira Ado delves into the world of destination branding and capacity building with a senior partner of AB and Adam, David Ofosu-Dotti. Speaking on the show, Mr. Ofosu-Dotti explained how best business owners and government organizations can boost productivity.
We have a confidence crisis, and we may not be recognizing it, but we definitely do have a confidence crisis. When you have people after people telling you that I am constantly building capacity, you have a confidence crisis. Because you're always building capacity. And you take a look at the World Bank projects we've done in this nation. Project after project always have a capacity building component. It's been there for about 50 years.
But is it not the case that people put it there because really the capacity has not been built?
When is capacity built? Look, experience is only experienced without having done the thing and made some mistakes and being bold to do it. You always look to somebody. So we have a confidence crisis. And that confidence crisis, it may look like a mundane thing, but let me analyze it across the broader perspective, and you will understand why. Why do we have so many people flocking to prophets? Because human beings by nature must hope. They must have something to look up to. And where you don't believe that after your prayer in the morning or your prayer in the afternoon, if you took an action, it will result in what you have hoped for, you go to a prophet hoping for a miracle. That mindset is not different from that hope that a political party, once it promises a certain agenda, will deliver it and it will make you rich. It's not different from it. It's a mental thing that we have. We are confident people.
Get the full interview tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Joy News and also Naughty TV. And that's Executive Lounge. And on that note, we wrap up business for tonight. Many thanks for watching. My name is Emmanuel Abuachi Piafi. Enjoy the weekend.
President Akufo-Addo has warned members of the Ghana Armed Forces who desire to venture into politics to lay down their uniforms and state-issued weapons before putting on the political colors of their choice. He's also urged leadership of the armed forces to take steps to upgrade personnel and equipment to deal with the threat posed by global terrorism. He was speaking at the Commander-in-Chief's Durbar with all ranks at Burma Camp here in Accra. Latif Idris has more.
We must guard against the politicization of the military by political parties. To borrow a term from a famous British Prime Minister, the greasy pole of politics has no place and should not have any place in the military. We do not want MPP soldiers, nor do we want NDC soldiers. We want Ghanaian soldiers who will serve any government duly elected by the Ghanaian people with equal zeal and loyalty. Those amongst you who want to do politics are very welcome, but please remember first to take off your uniforms and lay down your state-issued arms.
President Akufo-Addo has also blamed the inability of government to perform some of its key duties on mismanagement, corruption, among others, under the John Mahama-led administration.
If the public finances of our country were in a good state, virtually all the things that need to be done to strengthen our armed forces would be easily doable. But unfortunately, they are not. Corruption, mismanagement, and sheer theft of public resources have diminished significantly our capacity to do the things that are necessary for the nation's progress, security, and welfare.
He later cast salt for the construction of 16 four-story buildings for which an amount of 26 million Ghana cedis has been released for the takeoff. The facility, when completed, is expected to help improve the accommodation needs of army officers. The president later joined national security operatives for the celebration of Wasa at the headquarters of the Bureau of National Investigations. He assured the operatives of his administration's commitment to retool the institution to enable them provide the needed security for the country.
Whatever my government can do to enhance your capabilities, retool your organization, provide you with a conducive working environment. Your director is talking about a new office building. And that would be a big achievement of my mandate. If by the time I finish, you have such a... And that we come to grips with problems of accommodation for you. We're going to work out with the Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of Regional Development how at the regional and local level we can deal with issues of accommodation and of offices for you around the country. It is necessary that that arrangement is made.
Now, the missing handbag belonging to the quiz mistress of the National Science and Maths quiz, Dr. Elsie Kaufman, is yet to be found, contrary to reports in some sections of the media. A visit to the East Legon police station revealed Dr. Kaufman reported the missing bag on Thursday at 6:55 p.m. Among some of the items missing are gold earrings, an unspecified amount of money, driver's license, Samsung Galaxy phone, ID cards, and a bunch of keys. Dr. Kaufman's bag was stolen some minutes after the declaration of the 2017 winners of the National Service and National Science and Maths quiz. She had moved from her seat to present the trophy to the winners of the quiz, Prempeh College. Now, if you just watch this video, and we're going to be showing you this video, which shows the moment we believe that the bag was stolen. And look out for the arrow in the extreme left of your screen. And a gentleman who pops up somewhere there, he will show up in a bit. And in a moment, you see that he bends down. That's him, bends down and grabs something and moves away. Now, District Commander of the Ministry's Police, Florence Owusu, says investigators are on the matter.
We heard about thefts at the National Theatre yesterday during the quiz. But then we heard the information, it was late. So we couldn't contact the quiz mistress. So whilst we were trying to get in touch to find out whether it is true, she came here with an extract from the Legon police station that her bag with some personal effects got missing yesterday. And then she went there to make a report, but she was referred back to Ministry's police station because the National Theatre falls within our area of responsibility. So that was why she came. But during interaction with her, she told us that she had the bag with her during the whole process. But at a point where she had to present the trophy to the winning team, she got up and then left the bag on her seat. Then after the presentation, she detected that the bag was missing. To her, she has 2 reading glasses, her mobile phone, Samsung A5 or something, and then unspecified amount of money, her ATM card, and other items, other personal items.
Did she mention gold earrings?
Yes, she mentioned her 2 gold earrings and then 2 gold earrings, yes. Yeah. Even as the value yet. You know, we just received the information. She was here around 12:30. So I asked the investigator to go with her to the theater for her to point where exactly the bag was. And also we are trying to get in touch with the committee that organized the quiz to find out about those people who were with who were with her at the time. We need to get some of them to assist us in the investigation. So that is what we are trying to do. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And I want to appeal to the general public. The woman gave her name as Elsie Akosua Ifa Kaufman. So I want to make an appeal to the general public. They should help us. Anybody who has any information regarding the thefts of this bag should come to the Ministry's police station or any nearest police station and then report it to us to help us get the culprits, the one who actually.
Right, so those were the quiz champions, 2017 National Science and Maths quiz champions of Prempeh College who arrived at the Kumasi airport to a rousing welcome. We're taking. Now we're going to our earlier story, which we had to skip because the sound wasn't available. Now, the Member of Parliament for Futu, Alexander Fenyo-Making, has asked the Speaker to hold officials of the National Lottery Authority to Parliament to answer questions over claims they paid 100,000 cedis to members of the Finance Committee. Though the amount is said to have been given to the committee to, quote and unquote, push the NLA bill last year, members of the committee say they understood it to be a stipend. Speaking on the floor of the House on Friday, Mr. Fenyo-Making expressed concern comments by officials of Parliament, including the PRO, has not helped clear up the issue. Majority Leader Oseche Mensah-Bonsu says leadership of the House will consider the request and decide how it should be handled.
I was expecting that the Business Committee will, given issues on the airwaves regarding this House in respect of NLA, that's National Lotteries Authority, to program the authorities, officials from the authority, to give specific responses to some of the issues that have been raised. The reason being that, Mr. Speaker, whereas in one breath, some individual members in their personal capacity have made statements purporting same to be in respect of the matters for members in general. We've had the Public Affairs Directorate also going on record, making certain statements with certain effects that are not palatable. I hold the view that if the Business Committee is able to address this once and for all, this matter will be put to rest. Because, Mr. Speaker, we are here as a collective body, but in this, we have individual reputations at stake, and it is important that this matter is well addressed. I'm grateful for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Fenyo-Making raises issues that really are outside the confines of the Business Committee's report. And I will urge him to resort to the processes as defined by our rules of procedure. But the issue that he raises, Mr. Speaker, I believe very germane to the conduct of business in the House. I guess leadership will confer and see the appropriate medium to engage the issue that he has related to.
MP for Keta Richard Kwashiga tells Joy News the move to get the NLA to clarify issues is a good one to ensure nothing is swept under the carpet.
Is very much in place for the NLA officials to come and speak to this matter. But I think we've been hearing them speak to the matter in public. And so one may not be expecting anything very different from what they have been putting out in the public domain.
Do you find that satisfactory, at least the feedback that's come? If you know, we've all heard from the NLA, we've heard from Parliament's PR and all of that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's no complicity anywhere. I think that it has been clearly indicated that there was no bribery activity actually took place.
Yeah. An independent probe is being called for. Would you as parliamentarians support that? Something beyond Parliament as an institution?
Well, anything that will unearth the truth. You see, because this, what is happening is that anything about Parliament or about MPs these days, you know, tend not to smell very well. You know, it's very offensive to a lot of people. And I think that there's too much wrong perception, you know, being fed out to the public, you know, and then again, when one issue comes up, sometimes it's exaggerated, people don't investigate it, people don't actually go into the nuances of it, and then before we say jack, the whole story becomes so murky and convoluted, and nobody tend to really understand what the crux of the matter is.
An independent investigation.
Well, an independent investigation can certainly, but again, like was mentioned, these are decisions for the Speaker to take.
22 female students of the Catholic Youth Organization Technical Vocational Institute at Sauvé in the Volta region have graduated from a program designed to solely train females in electronics. The initiative is intended to boost the number of females in the male-dominated electronics sector. The over €1 million project, dubbed Female Professionals in Electronics, is a partnership between Samsung, the government of Ghana, German Corporation, and the Korean International Cooperation Agency, KOISA. Fred Kwame Asari's report.
The students benefited from a 3-year scholarship training which took them through the fundamental principles in assembling and repairing electronic gadgets and an internship with Samsung Ghana. A well-finished training workshop was set up at the school to ensure students have an effective training, build their capacity in electronics, and create employment opportunities for the students. One of the beneficiaries, Agbo Dinah, indicated that the program has boosted her confidence and equipped her with useful skills to fend for herself.
The program has given my colleagues and I useful skills which today make it possible for us to repair a wide range of electronic gadgets, including mobile phones, earpieces, and radio sets. These special skills have added enormous values to our lives, whipped our public confidence in us, and we now look into the future with immense hope.
The board chairman for the school, Right Reverend Musui Konu, charged government to ensure the country's vocational and technical institutions are provided the required equipment to enhance training. He was worried the absence of needed training equipment and technical institutions has deprived the school of technical expertise.
In Ghana, we have the resources, but because the know-how is not there, we give it and people are destroying everything we have. And how much are we getting from gold? Gold that we are mining even before independence, because we ourselves do not have the skills to exploit it and exploit it reasonably. And so others come and the gold, are we eating the gold? I am even saying that we may have the gold, but do we import water? And what type of water are we importing from those countries? Recycled water. Do we have gold to recycle, to import recycled water? So I'm saying that water is expensive. If we can stop mining from the waterways and other places, and even export water, we ourselves will have good water and export some to people. So it's a skill which is a thing. And so I'm telling you that let us develop our skills. I wasn't fortunate to be able to learn anything.
The students assembled a 4-way traffic light, a remote control bulb, a LED display, an IC, and a translator amplifiers, among others. 95 students from Don Bosco Vocational Institute in Ashaiman, Pentecost Vocational Training Center, Bawe, and Accra Girls Vocational Institute also benefited from the training program. Fred Kwame Asari's report for Joy News.
President Akufo-Addo's daughters have raised funds to aid children suffering autism. At an event dubbed Sister's Keeper, one of the first daughters, Jankroma Akufo-Addo, says it was imperative for Ghanaians to be educated about autism to stem the stigmatization victims suffer. The fundraising event was graced by President Akufo-Addo and his vice, their spouses, as well as some ministers of state. There's more in the following report.
Speaking to Joy News before the main fundraising event, the first daughters revealed every year they pick a charity and a cause that they raise funds to support. Their plan, according to them, is not to solve every problem, but help wherever they can. The sisters believe supporting a cause such as autism means a lot to them, as most sufferers are discriminated against.
Every year we pick a charity and a cause that we really care about, and decided that we would spend the entire year raising awareness, raising funds, doing what we can to make the charity bigger, stronger, more effective in any way that we could find. So that is how we came up with My Sister's Keeper. The 3 of us are sisters. We want to make sure we take care of each other and also of other people. So that's how we did it. We are trying to raise awareness to be able to focus on a cause that doesn't show that it is a disease, that it isn't a problem, that it is just an issue, that it's something that it shouldn't be demonized, that this is a topic that once my sisters and I, we branched on this issue, we found out that there were so many people that have been touched by this actual cause, autism. There's so many people that have, whether they have grandchildren, they have cousins, they have a little sister, a little brother. We find that everyone has been touched by this issue.
One of the partners of the fundraising event, Chioma Onwutalobi, who is the CEO of Glam Africa, told Joy News the partnership was in line with what Glam Africa stood for.
But when we started initially, the plan was just, hey, you know what, Africa is doing so well, but then people abroad, when they look at it, they don't know the story. They don't know how amazing this continent is. They don't know we've got amazing people. They don't know we've got amazing cities, great holiday destinations. So we formed Glam Africa magazine, and that was just it. It was supposed to be something small, something simple, but today it's grown to be this amazing thing, and we thought, you know what, it's time to give back.
Derek Boateng explained why he chose to support the event.
I think, it's very, very important to be here. I'm very honored to be here, and it's very good, always to give back to society. And, to be honest with you, I'm so very, very happy to be here. And, this event means a lot to me. Giving back to society means a lot to me. Helping people is always things we normally have to do, as a human beings.
Music legend Jeduble Ambole believes music can be used as a form of healing for autistic people.
It's always good around people who are sick because, it motivates them. So when I was called upon to be part of this, I said, well, it's going to be my contribution towards creating awareness for autism.
Individuals interested in aiding My Sister's Keeper could follow them on social media.
It is a man's world, but it will be nothing without a woman.
This is Joy News Prime.